Welcome. In front of me I have the Garmin Bounce 2 and I'll be going over unboxing, quick look at the watch along with specifications and some of the features. Okay, so let's just get straight into this. Okay, so we get some paperwork. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all know how to put a watch on. Anyway, then we got the crappy Garmin cable for charging. My god, I still can't fathom that they haven't changed this after such a long time. They just made it type C. Like, that's gonna solve the shitty ass design right here. So truly awful. Anyway, moving on. Got the manual. Again, it's not super complicated watch, so I don't think you need that really. And taking this off and take a look at the watch itself. Now, probably one thing that you can notice is the color flare and just the size of it. So obviously this watch is designed for children. Now, before I go any further, for probably primarily the parents that will be watching this, I want to say I am not a parent. I don't have any kids or anything like that, so I'll be kind of judgmental to this a little bit from a perspective of someone that obviously is not in your position. So take that as you may. Now, at the back you can see we don't have any kind of sensors for things like heart rates and all that stuff that you'd expect from a watch. And just to show you how this normally looks like once I wipe it down on my end. There we go. So this is how normally watch looks like when it's a smartwatch with, you know, things that you might expect. You can see some lights happening here as it's trying to detect my heart rates and all that stuff. So this is what you'd usually get here. None of that. We just have the charging port, which is at the back. Like I mentioned, it's an awful design for charging, considering it also clips in there. Just to showcase this. So just kind of plop it in there forcefully. And well, then it just kind of clips in there pretty strongly, which I just knocked down the plant away. It's fake, so no worry. So yeah, also when you plug it in, it usually just gonna lay on its face, which, like, not the best kind of design. This could have been done much better. So you could have had a magnetic charger, or I don't know, like someone with pogo pins that attach also magnetically and just place it down, maybe show some time on it when it's not being worn. But we don't. Oh, another thing, I actually need to plug it in because that's how we're gonna turn it on. Because God forbid your watch has a button to turn it on. Come on. There we go. Okay, now you can see we do have a relatively small display right here, so you can see the bezels. You have pretty animated UI right here with a little bit of flair. Out of like the first kind of interaction, the display right here is pretty good. It's responsive. Though language-wise, we don't have that many languages here, surprisingly. Could be that they are only languages that would allow for the existence of this watch in specific countries, as I'm gonna get to it in a moment. So let's first talk about the display, actually. It's a AMOLED display, surprisingly, so that's actually pretty decent in terms of the display tech right here. It's very responsive, feels good. The device isn't lagging, as you can see. It's pretty smooth in terms of operation. It supports 5 atmospheres of water resistance, meaning that you can deep dive in it at 50 meters. I'm pretty sure not very many children can dive 50 meters into water unless they're literally drowning. So this is kind of like an overkill for a watch like this. Now, where's the info about the display, like other than the type of it? I'm straight up checking the Garmin website and all I see is just a bunch of check marks, but I don't really give two hoops about check marks. I want to see the actual specifications, which they... Oh, there we go. So in terms of the display resolution, we're looking at 390 by 390 pixels. Now, that wouldn't imply it's a square, but it's in circular form. So should have probably add pixel density right here, more like. But in any case, moving on. This device has 4 gigabytes of storage. And Garmin OS obviously on here. If I scroll down to functions, connects to iPhone and Android, supports Bluetooth, ANT+, Wi-Fi, LTE. So basically supports everything that you would need. Let's see. So here comes the thing that I just kind of have a problem with this kind of watch. Just generally this kind of product is the, what I consider, like I mentioned, not a parent, kind of a creepy, overprotective look at it. I also don't live in US where I have, you know, crimes happening every other day. But from where I'm from, this just seems a little bit too intrusive to a child. Because it's a watch, it's something that, because of the sheer idea of this watch, it's going to be forgotten. I forgot to take it. Obviously, no, that's not the case. It's going to be forgotten just because the idea of it is not going to spark anyone's interest that would have to wear it. So a watch that literally communicates your location permanently, constantly to your parent, can be checked, and additionally has two-way communication through LTE, so you can basically have this work like a walkie-talkie, from as far as I can understand this, where you just decide, where are you going, son? You're not supposed to be there. That just seems a little bit too intrusive. I was a child, I'm fine. I used to do absolutely stupid shit, never needed the watch. No one or parents didn't need a watch. So knowing too much sometimes might not be the best thing. And it is also the time where you try to develop and, you know, learn. By overprotecting your kid, you're kind of taking away that thing. Though again, not a parent. Just looking at it from a, let's call it my own personal past, as well as how I would perceive that past to be. And I just genuinely don't like these kind of things which are designed to basically spy on your child. It's, to me, equivalent as, don't close the door. If you do, I'm going to take it off so you have no privacy, because God forbid you would ever be able to do anything without your parents' consent. Like, it's, to me, that's just a little bit no bueno. So yeah, because of that, I am kind of negatively set to these kind of products, but I'm gonna try to just give you info here. So apart from the basically almost walkie-talkie like functionality of this, where it's a two-way communicator, we have live tracking LTE, basically voicemails, or not, it's not really a voicemail, but it's like a voice message that you can leave, and the localizational like reports. Again, all of these features basically go through LTE, so you do need to have eSIM. This device, by the looks of it, doesn't have any kind of SIM support unless you have to unscrew the back to get that, but highly doubtful. So this would all be going through LTE through eSIM, which you would need to connect one here. Let's see what else we got. We have some functionality for help, localization tracking. Oh God, it has notifications for surpassing boundary. What's next? Maybe you should put a name your child Kaya and put a shock collar just in case. So this just it gets very weird. Usually kids that would be wearing this are, I would say, old enough to probably not need permanent, tracking. It's not like a dog that will get lost in a forest. So yeah. Anything else that just kind of like jumps out at me here? That is actually an interesting one here. I'm basically looking at some interesting, the technical specifications, but what it does actually have that might be interesting and useful is, now this is kind of in a weird category. It's in schooling, planning, and analysis. Kind of odd place for this, but what it does is tracks speed and the distance through GPS. That is one that I would consider actually be pretty interesting. So you might get, for instance, notifications when this watch detects that it's going 60 miles an hour for no reason. Now, no child, unless it's falling off a cliff, would be going 60 miles an hour. Unless it got into a car that it shouldn't be in. Now, that one, I do have to say, is pretty useful, pretty interesting to have. So anyway, let's see. These just seem like nothing burgers. Huh? So supposedly, it has measurements, GPS distances, time, and heart rate. I'm not sure how it's getting heart rate if it doesn't have the sensor for it. That is a bit odd, I would say. And that's straight from their website. Anyway, not much more to say about this. It is basically a tracking watch that can be taken into 50 meters depth with a pretty kid-like UI on the watch surface, and LTE, and all kinds of monitoring tracking options. And additionally, which I didn't actually talk about, is it obviously connects to the application, the Garmin application, that basically gives you all that information in there, where you can live track the GPS position and all that stuff. So the watch needs to be connected to that app more so than ever. As normal, for instance, watches like these, I can connect it and literally not care about the application itself, as most of the functionality is in the watch itself. It's supposed to be smart. This, on the other hand side, obviously for the purposes of its design, relies heavily, or you will be relying heavily, on the application itself. So there we go, that's about it. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.